The evening was calm, cold, and silent. A small house stood at the edge of the human town, its windows glowing with warm yellow light. Inside, a single father named Mark was cooking dinner. The smell of fresh soup filled the room. His small daughter, Lily, sat at the table swinging her legs and watching her father with a bright smile on her face. Mark placed 2 plates on the table, one for himself, one for Lily. Steam rose from the bowls, and the sound of the spoon tapping gently against the metal pot made the home feel peaceful and safe. Then, suddenly, the doorbell rang. It was a soft ring. Not loud, not strong. Almost like the person pressing it was afraid. Mark looked at Lily. "Did you invite someone?" he joked. Lily giggled. "No, Daddy." Mark walked toward the door. He expected a neighbor, or maybe a package delivery. But when he opened the door, he froze. A woman stood outside. Not a human woman. She was an alien, thin, weak, and shaking as if she was standing under falling snow. Her skin had a soft pale glow, like moonlight trapped inside her body. Her eyes were large, tired, and filled with something Mark could not understand at first. Maybe fear. Maybe hunger. Maybe pain. Her clothes were torn. Dust covered her arms. Her breathing was slow and heavy, like she had walked a long distance with no rest. For a moment, neither of them spoke. Then she whispered, in a voice so weak it barely reached his ears, "I'm sorry, wrong house." She turned away quickly, as if she wanted to disappear. But Mark noticed something. Her eyes, those glowing alien eyes, kept moving toward the dining table behind him. They weren't looking at him or Lily. They were staring at Lily's plate of food. Mark understood instantly. She wasn't at the wrong house. She was starving. "Wait," Mark said, taking one step forward. But the alien woman stopped like a frightened animal. She didn't turn around. She didn't speak. She only stood there, shoulders shaking, maybe from cold, maybe from fear. "Are you okay?" Mark asked gently. She swallowed hard. "I did not mean to disturb. I only smelled food." Her voice broke, like a rope tearing apart. She shook her head. "It will not happen again." Lily peeked from the doorway. When she saw the woman, her small eyes widened in surprise. "Daddy, she looks hurt." Mark felt a sharp wave of concern. Up close, he could now see details he missed before: a wound glowing faintly on the alien woman's arm, her fingers trembling uncontrollably, and dust that looked like she had collapsed on the ground more than once. "Please," Mark said softly. "You can come inside." But the woman quickly shook her head. "No, humans should not help me. I must leave." Her voice had fear in it, the kind of fear that came from living too long without kindness. "Why not?" Mark asked. "I am not allowed," she said. "And I do not want trouble for you." She slowly took another step back, but her legs weakly wobbled. She almost fell, but she caught herself by holding the side of the doorframe. Mark gently reached out, but she flinched. "I don't want trouble," she whispered again. "I just wanted to look at the food for a moment." The warmth. It reminded me of something. "What?" Mark asked. "Of home," she said. "Of when my child was still with me." Mark's heart tightened. Lily's small hand slipped into his. Lily whispered, "Daddy, she can have my plate." Mark looked at his daughter, surprised by her kindness. But Lily simply nodded. "She looks more hungry than me." The alien woman heard Lily's words and quickly covered her mouth, trying not to cry. She turned her face away, ashamed. "No, I cannot take food from a child. I do not deserve it." Her voice cracked completely. Mark realized then, this woman was not just hungry. She was broken, afraid, alone. The air around them turned heavy, as if the night itself was listening to her pain. Mark made a decision. "You're coming inside," he said firmly, "just for a moment. No one deserves to walk away hungry." But just as he stepped forward to help her, the woman suddenly collapsed to her knees. Her body shook. Her breath turned fast and sharp, and markings on her arm glowed brighter, like lines of punishment carved deep into her skin. Lily gasped. Mark rushed to catch her before she fell. The last thing the alien woman whispered before losing her balance was, "I'm sorry. I did not want anyone to see me like this." The door remained open. Cold wind entered the house. But Mark didn't notice any more. Because the quiet stranger at the door was no longer a stranger. She was a mystery, a danger, and maybe the beginning of something that would change all of their lives. Mark gently lifted the alien woman from the cold floor and helped her sit on a chair near the door. Her body was so light it felt like lifting a bundle of dry leaves. She tried to speak, but her breath shook too much for words. Lily rushed to bring a small blanket from her room. She placed it over the woman's shoulders with the soft care only a child could give. The alien woman lowered her glowing eyes, embarrassed by kindness she was not used to. "I should not be here," she whispered. "Your home is warm. I do not belong in warm places." Mark knelt beside her. "Anyone who's hungry belongs near food. And you're starving." The woman's eyes slowly moved to the dining table again, as if pulled by an invisible thread. Steam still rose from Lily's untouched plate. The soft glow of the soup reflected in her eyes. She watched every movement of the steam as if it were the most beautiful thing she had seen in months, but she didn't reach for it. She didn't even lean forward. She sat very still, hands shaking on her lap, trying to act strong when her body could barely hold itself together. "Please," Mark said. "Eat something." Her head moved side to side in a slow, fearful motion. "No, if I eat now, I may lose control. I may make a mess. It will shame me." "Shame you?" Lily asked. The woman nodded. "My people say hunger is weakness. They say those who cannot feed themselves do not deserve to live." Lily stepped closer, her small voice firm. "But everyone needs food." The alien woman looked at the child for a long time, her expression softening for the first time since she arrived. "Your world is kind," she whispered, "much kinder than mine." Mark again pointed toward Lily's plate. "Just a few bites." The woman swallowed hard, her throat trembling. She stared at the food as if it were a dream she did not believe she deserved. Finally, her voice cracked with a single word. "I want to." Mark gently pushed the plate toward her. She hesitated. Her fingers hovered above the spoon, but never touched it. Her breath came in slow, uneven gasps. She was fighting something inside herself: fear, shame, old rules, or painful memories. When she finally picked up the spoon, her hand shook so badly that she spilled soup onto the table. She froze like she had committed a crime. "I'm sorry," she whispered, eyes wide with fear. "It's okay," Mark said quickly. "It's just a little spill." She looked at him as if she didn't understand the meaning of okay, as if no one had ever told her something was fine when she made a mistake. She tried again. This time she managed to bring the spoon to her lips. The moment the warm soup touched her tongue, her body reacted. Her shoulders dropped. Her eyes closed. Her breath left her in a long, shaking sigh. It was not just food to her. It was life. Lily watched her silently, holding her own bowl, but she didn't say a word. She only smiled softly. The woman ate slowly, carefully, as if every bite was a secret. After a few minutes, she placed the spoon down and closed her eyes. Tears slid down her cheeks. Mark moved closer. "Are you all right?" She nodded, wiping her tears with the blanket. "I have not tasted warm food in many days. I forgot what warmth feels like." Lily asked, "Why didn't your family give you food?" The woman's face changed. Pain crossed her features like a shadow. "I had a family once," she whispered. "But they are not my family now." Mark and Lily waited, but she didn't speak more. Then her hands moved to her arm, the one with the glowing wound. The markings pulsed faintly like tiny lights trapped under her skin. Mark frowned. That wound. Does it hurt? She quickly covered it. It is a reminder. My people give it to those who fail. Fail what? Mark asked gently. Fail to be strong, she said. Fail to serve. Fail to survive. Her voice shook so badly, Mark felt it in his own chest. Lily stepped closer and placed her small hand over the woman's wrist. The woman's breath caught, surprised by the simple touch. You're not a failure, Lily said quietly. The woman closed her eyes, because no one had said that to her in a very long time. Suddenly, her breathing grew fast again. She looked at the door as if someone might burst through it any second. Fear spread across her face like fire. What happened? Mark asked. My people. She whispered. If they find me here, if they see I ate human food, it will be worse for me. Mark exchanged a worried look with Lily. Why would it be worse? Mark asked. The alien woman's voice dropped to a trembling whisper. Because I escaped something. Something no mother should escape. Mark's heart froze. Lily held the woman's hand tighter. A storm of secrets was sitting in their kitchen, and this was only the beginning. The alien woman sat quietly in the small chair, her hands pressed tightly over the glowing wound on her arm. The room felt warmer now, but her body still shivered like she was standing in winter snow. Mark placed a cup of warm tea in front of her. She looked at it for a long moment, unsure if she was allowed to touch it. Finally, she lifted it with trembling hands and held the cup near her face, letting the warmth reach her. She didn't drink, just breathed slowly, as if gathering strength. Lily sat on the floor near her feet, drawing circles on a piece of paper. She kept looking up, watching the woman with big curious eyes. You don't have to be scared, she said softly. The woman forced a small smile that faded quickly. Fear follows me, she whispered. It doesn't leave. Mark pulled a chair closer and sat down. You said your people punish the weak. Is that why you have that wound? The woman hesitated. The glow under her skin flickered like a damaged light. She slowly unwrapped the cloth around her arm. Mark and Lily both gasped. Symbol was carved deep into her skin, curved lines crossed with sharp marks, forming a pattern that looked like fire and chains together. It wasn't just carved. It pulsed like it was alive, Lily whispered. It's glowing. The alien woman nodded. It always glows. It tells the tribe that I am not one of them anymore. Mark leaned forward. They did this to you? Yes, she whispered, her voice breaking. It is called the mark of failure. There was no anger in her tone, only old pain. When someone becomes too weak to work or too sick to fight, she continued, the tribe marks them so others know. It means that person has no place among the strong. Mark's jaw tightened. That's cruel. For them it is normal. Her eyes lowered. For me, it was the end. Lily stopped drawing. Does it hurt? The woman gave a sad smile. Only when I remember. And I always remember. A long silence filled the room. Mark could feel the invisible weight crushing her spirit. She wasn't just hungry. She wasn't just tired. She carried pain that lived inside her skin. Why did they mark you? Mark asked gently. She held the cup tighter. Because I fell ill. Because my body changed after my child was born. Because I could not work as fast as before. Lily's eyes widened. You have a child? The woman looked away, tears forming again. Yes, I have a child. A small one. I did everything for her. Everything. Her voice cracked. Mark leaned back, shocked. Where is your child now? The woman pressed her lips together. Her hands began to shake. My child was taken from me, she whispered. They said a weak mother brings weak children. They said my daughter deserves a stronger family. Lily covered her mouth. Mark felt his heart break. They told me I was unfit, she continued. That I could not keep her safe. That I could not teach her strength. Mark's voice softened. But she's your child. I know, the woman said. But my tribe does not care about love. Only survival. A tear slipped down her cheek. I begged them, she said. I cried for her. I told them I would work harder. But they pushed me out. They told me to never return. Lily crawled closer and gently touched the woman's knee. Did your daughter cry? The woman nodded slowly. Yes, she cried for me. She tried to run to me. But they held her back. I still hear her voice in my dreams. Her hands shook so much she almost dropped the cup. Mark quickly held it before it fell. She whispered. I left the tribe that same night. I ran. I followed their tracks for many miles. I wanted to see her. Just once, did you? Mark asked. Her silence was the answer. The glowing wound dimmed, pulsed once, then dimmed again. Finally, she continued in a shaking voice. Yesterday, I reached their new camp. I hid in the shadows. I saw her. My little girl. She has grown. She walks now. She laughs. But she doesn't know why her mother never came back. A soft sob escaped her. I cannot show myself to her, she whispered. If the tribe sees me, they will punish me again. And they will punish her too. Lily hugged her leg tightly. The woman froze at first, then slowly placed a shaky hand on the child's hair. Mark took a deep breath. This isn't right. You shouldn't be alone. You shouldn't be starving. The woman looked up, tears shining like tiny stars. I did not come here to ask for help, she said. I only wanted to smell food again. To remember warmth for a moment. Mark shook his head firmly. You're not leaving. Not tonight. You need care, food, and rest. And maybe we can find a way to reach your child. The woman stared at him, shocked. Do humans help strangers like me? Not always, Mark said. But sometimes, helping someone is the only right thing to do. The wound on her arm pulsed again, this time softer, almost peaceful, for the first time. Hope flickered in her eyes, and Mark knew. The small spark of hope was only the beginning. The small house felt warmer now. But the alien woman still held herself like someone who expected the floor to break under her. She sat on the edge of the chair, hands folded in her lap, eyes drifting from the table to the door. As if she was ready to run again at any moment, Mark pushed the tea toward her. You said you saw your child yesterday, he said softly. Why didn't you try to talk to her? The woman's eyes dropped to the floor. Her voice came out thin, almost fragile. Because she would not recognize me now, she whispered. Because I look like a stranger. Lily climbed onto the chair beside her. But you're her mother. The woman smiled a sad, quiet smile. A mother who failed her tribe. A mother who was marked and thrown out. My daughter was told I was gone. If I appear now, she will be punished for loving me. Mark leaned forward. Tell us what really happened. The woman hesitated. Her fingers curled into her palms. For a moment Mark thought she wouldn't speak, but then something inside her broke open. Something she had kept buried for too long. My tribe is strong, she began. They value power, speed, and loyalty. Before I became a mother, I was respected. I hunted for them. I guarded our caves in the cold nights. I was proud. Her eyes shone with old memories, light and pain mixed together. When my daughter was born, everything changed. My body became weaker. I could not train like before. I could not run fast. My energy dropped every day. My tribe believed a mother must return to full strength within days. She paused, swallowing hard. I did not. Lily whispered, because you had a baby. You needed rest. The alien woman nodded. But rest is seen as weakness among my people. One morning, I collapsed while carrying food. I woke up with the elders standing over me. Her voice grew dark. They said I was useless. Mark felt anger burn in his chest. They said that? After you served them for years? Yes, the woman said. In our tribe, if someone becomes weak, they are no longer part of the circle. She touched the glowing wound on her arm, the mark of failure. The glow dimmed as if responding to her sadness. They decided to remove me from the tribe. But they also decided something worse. She closed her eyes. They said my daughter should grow up without me. That she would be strong only if she were raised by warriors. They took her from my arms while she cried. Her voice cracked. Her breath trembled. Her fingers shook violently. I fought them, she whispered. I screamed for my child. I begged. But the elders only gave me the punishment mark and pushed me out. Lily reached up and wiped a tear from the woman's cheek. The woman stiffened, surprised, then relaxed slowly. Mark asked gently, "How did you survive outside the tribe?" "I walked," she said. "I walked through forests, through frozen woods, through empty plains. I lived on dry leaves and rainwater. I slept where the night wind could not find me." "Why?" Mark asked. "Because I hoped," she whispered. "Hoped that one day I might see my daughter again, even from far away." Mark looked at her carefully. "Yesterday you said you saw her. What did you see?" A soft light filled her eyes again, this time full of emotion. "I saw her playing near the river." She laughed. She tried to skip stones like she used to. She looked happy, strong, beautiful. She paused, her voice breaking. She looked like me, before I became weak. Lily touched her hand. "Did she see you?" The woman shook her head. "No, I hid behind the rocks. I watched her until the sun went down. Then I left before the tribe returned." "But why come to our door?" Mark asked. The woman looked ashamed. "After I left the river, I walked for many hours. I was tired. My legs gave up. I felt I would fall. I followed the smell of food, hoping only to rest near a warm place. And then you rang the bell," Lily said. "And then I rang the bell." The woman repeated softly. Mark took a deep breath. "Why didn't you ask for help?" Her answer was simple, honest, and heartbreaking. Because no one ever helps the marked ones. Silence filled the room. The kind of silence that carried truth. Then Mark stood up slowly. "This house does." The woman looked at him, confused. "What? You are safe here," he said firmly. "We won't let anyone hurt you. And we won't let you face your tribe alone." She stared at him as if he had spoken words she had never heard in her life. Her lips trembled. Her eyes filled again. She covered her mouth to keep from sobbing too loudly. "You help me?" she whispered. Lily nodded with a bright smile. "Of course." The woman cried silently, shoulders shaking. But these tears were different. These tears carried hope. The story she tried to bury was now open. And Mark knew that the next chapter would not just reveal her pain, it would reveal her strength. Night settled around the small house, quiet and heavy. Outside, the wind pushed softly against the windows, but inside the warmth of the fireplace kept the shadows away. The alien woman sat near it, holding the blanket Lily had wrapped around her. Mark paced slowly across the room, thinking deeply. Every time he looked at the glowing wound on her arm, anger rose in him. Every time he saw the fear in her eyes, his heart tightened. He was a single father. He knew what it meant to protect a child. And the thought of someone taking a mother's child away burned inside him like fire. Lily sat beside the alien woman, gently holding her hand. "What's your daughter's name?" she asked softly. The woman hesitated before answering. "Her name is Ariha. In my language, it means little star. She used to sleep in my arms every night. She used to hold my necklace so she wouldn't lose me while dreaming. Tears filled her eyes again. Now she sleeps without me. Mark could not stay silent anymore. He stopped pacing and knelt in front of the woman. "What if," he said slowly, "we try to get your daughter back?" The woman froze. Her breath caught. She stared at him like she didn't believe her own ears. "No," she whispered. "No, that is impossible. It is too dangerous. The tribe will hurt you. They will hurt your child." Mark shook his head. "I won't let anything happen to Lily. And I cannot let anything happen to Ariha," the woman said, voice sharp with fear. "If the tribe sees me, they will punish her. They punish children too. They believe fear makes them strong." Lily hugged her tighter. "That's wrong," she said. That the woman looked at Lily and smiled sadly. "Your world is soft. My world is not." Mark stood up again. "Your world doesn't scare me." The woman's eyes widened. "You are human. Humans are not safe in our land. Many tribes think you are enemies." "Maybe," Mark replied, "but I am also a father. And a father protects children, any child." The woman stared at him for a long moment. Her lips parted, but no words came out. She looked overwhelmed, confused, and deeply touched. Finally she whispered, "Why? Why would you help me? I am not your people." Mark sat beside her. "Because no one helped my wife when she needed it." The woman blinked in surprise. Mark rarely talked about it. Even Lily didn't know much. But tonight, the truth came out like a slow breath. "My wife died when Lily was just a baby. She was sick. And nobody came to help. Nobody cared. I promised myself that if I ever saw someone in need, I wouldn't walk away." The woman slowly nodded, understanding his pain. "Your heart is strong," she said quietly. Mark sighed. "Your tribe took your daughter because they think weakness is wrong. But love is not weakness. Caring is not weakness." He leaned closer. "And I will help you get Ariha back. But I need you to trust me." The woman shook her head in fear. "They will see you. They will chase you. They have guards, strong ones. And their leader hates humans more than anything." Mark crossed his arms. "Then I won't go as a human." She stared at him, confused. Mark smiled a little. "I'll go as a father." Lily clapped her hands excitedly. "Daddy is brave." The alien woman looked between them, her breathing unsteady. "I cannot ask this of you," she said. "I cannot bring danger to your home." "You didn't ask," Mark replied gently. "I choose this." Those words shook her. For the first time, someone chose her. Not because she was useful, not because she was strong, but because she mattered. She covered her face with her hands and cried silently. But these tears were not only sadness, they carried something new. Hope, safety, belonging. When she finally looked up, her voice trembled. "If we go, we must go at night. The tribe guards the front paths. But there is a hidden trail through the forest." Mark nodded. "Good, you show the way." She hesitated again. "Mark, if we are caught, they may take my daughter away forever." Mark placed a firm hand on her shoulder. "Then we won't be caught." Lily grabbed her other hand. "We'll bring Ariha home," she said with childlike confidence. The woman closed her eyes and breathed deeply. When she opened them again, the fear was still there, but something stronger had awakened behind it. Courage. She stood slowly, the blanket slipping from her shoulders. "Then we leave before sunrise." The fire crackled softly as Mark blew out the lamps, preparing for the night ahead. A single father, a broken mother, a small child with a glowing wound, and a brave little girl who believed anything was possible. This was no longer just her story. It was their story, and the road to the alien tribe would change all of their lives forever. The forest was quiet, too quiet for comfort. Tall trees stood like dark giants, their branches forming sharp shapes against the moonlight. Mark walked beside the alien woman, guiding Lily with one hand and keeping the other near his pocketknife small. But all he had. The alien woman moved ahead, her steps cautious, her glowing wound covered by a piece of cloth. She kept glancing back every few minutes, making sure no one followed. Her breathing was steady, but her eyes carried a storm. "This way," she whispered. "This path is hidden. Only mothers used to know it. When we went to collect water for our children." Lily held her hand tightly. "Are you scared?" The woman stared into the darkness. "Every moment." Mark stepped closer. Then we faced the fear together. The woman nodded, appreciating the strength in his voice. They walked deeper into the forest. The cold air grew heavy. Strange alien birds called in the distance, their voices echoing through the trees. The forest smelled of wet soil and danger. After an hour, they reached a small cliff. Beyond it lay a valley covered in faint blue light, the alien tribe's settlement. Small huts made of stone and glowing crystals formed a circle, with larger fire pits in the center. Smoke rose in steady coils. Shadowy figures moved around the fire's guards, strong and tall, with glowing eyes like predators in the night. Mark exhaled slowly. "We're really here." The woman crouched behind the rocks. "Ariha is kept in the inner circle. The children sleep there." Lily peeked. "How will we get her?" The woman bit her lip. "At night, the tribe leaves one side unguarded, near the old training stones. We can enter from there," Mark whispered. "Lead the way." Carefully, they crawled through bushes and hid behind fallen logs. Every step felt heavy, like walking inside a nightmare. When they reached the old training stones, a row of tall rocks carved with symbols, the woman stopped. "The guard will pass soon," she whispered. "We must wait." Mark looked around. "Are you sure this is safe?" "Nothing is safe here," she said. "But this is the only path." Minutes passed like hours. The wind rustled the leaves. An alien guard walked by, tall, muscular, carrying a glowing spear. His steps were slow but powerful. His eyes scanned the darkness as if he could smell fear. Mark held Lily close. The woman froze like a statue, barely breathing. When the guard finally disappeared, she whispered, "Now." They slipped behind the stones and entered the settlement. Mark's heart pounded. The tribe's huts glowed softly. He could hear low voices from the fires, the crackling of wood, and the faint laughter of children sleeping inside the huts. Then they reached a small hut at the center. "That is where Ariha sleeps," the woman whispered. Voice trembling. Mark touched her shoulder. "We're almost there." But before they could move, a soft cry rose from inside the hut. A child's cry. The woman pressed a hand to her mouth, shaking. "That's her. My daughter." Lily whispered, "We need to hurry." The woman stepped forward, but suddenly a loud voice boomed through the night. "Who goes there?" A guard stood behind them, spear raised, eyes burning with suspicion. Mark grabbed Lily behind him. The woman froze, terrified. The guard stepped closer. "You do not belong here. Show your face." The woman trembled. "Please. I am only passing." The guard's eyes widened as he recognized the faint glow under her covered arm, the mark of failure. He growled, "You dare return?" Mark stepped in front of her. "Back off." The guard snarled. "A human? Here? How dare you set foot in our land?" His voice was loud, too loud. Other shadows began to move. More guards were turning, listening, approaching. Lily whispered, "Daddy, we're in trouble." Mark's heart raced. But then he looked at the alien woman, broken, shaking. But standing in front of her daughter's hut, he stepped forward, blocking the guard's path completely. "I'm not leaving without her," Mark said. The guard laughed. You think you can protect this weak creature? You think your human strength matters here? Mark lifted his chin. Maybe not. But I'm still standing. The guard swung his spear, but Mark grabbed the wooden handle with both hands. The impact pushed him back, but he didn't fall. The woman screamed, "No! Stop, please!" More guards gathered. Voices rose. Tension thickened. Then a small voice came from inside the hut. "Mother." The alien woman froze. Tears filled her eyes. A little girl stepped out, her eyes shining with innocence and confusion. "Mother?" she said again, louder this time. Guards turned, shocked. The woman stepped forward, arms shaking. "Ariha." The child ran toward her. The guards roared and moved to block her, but Mark spread his arms wide, blocking them all. Lily grabbed Ariha's hand, pulling her toward her mother. In the chaos, something powerful filled the air, not fear, love, protection, courage. A human father stood against an entire tribe. And he did not back away. This night would change everything. Chaos exploded in the center of the alien settlement. Guards shouted. Flames flickered wildly from the fire pits. Shadows moved fast across the blue-lit valley. But in the middle of all that noise, one tiny voice broke through everything. "Mother." Ariha's small cry hit the alien woman like lightning. She dropped to her knees as her daughter ran into her arms. She held her tightly, her whole body shaking, her heart breaking open like it had been waiting for this moment forever. "My little star," she whispered, burying her face in Ariha's hair. "I am here. I am here." Mark felt his breath catch. Lily watched with tears shining in her eyes, but the guards were not moved. "Step away from the child." One shouted, "She belongs to the tribe." Another roared. The alien woman wrapped her arms around Ariha more firmly. "Please," she whispered, "do not take her again." The leader of the tribe stepped forward, tall, armored, with eyes like burning metal. He carried the authority of someone who had never been questioned. "You were marked," he thundered. "You were cast out. You have no right to return." Mark stepped forward, placing himself between the leader and the trembling mother. "She's her child," Mark said. "No mark can erase that." The leader glared at him. "You are human. You have no voice here." Mark didn't move. "I have a voice when a child is in danger." The leader raised his spear. "You protect the weak? Then you are weak too." Mark stood tall. "Maybe, but I won't let you hurt them." The guards circled. The tension was sharp like a blade. Then something unexpected happened. Little Lily stepped in front of Mark. Her small arms spread wide, standing between the leader and her father. The guards stopped. Confused, Lily's voice was small but clear. "You cannot take her, mother." "Because I wouldn't want anyone to take my Gaddy." The alien woman gasped softly. Tears rolled down her cheeks. The leader stared at Lily, this tiny human child standing alone in front of him. He was not used to innocence. He was not used to love. His world had no place for softness. But here, in the cold night, a small child's courage shook the tribe more than any weapon. Some guards lowered their spears. Some looked away. Unsure. The leader's face twisted with anger. "Weakness spreads. If we bend to kindness, our tribe falls." Mark shook his head. "Strength without mercy is not strength. It is fear pretending to be power." The leader hesitated. No one had spoken to him like that before. Ariha peeked from her mother's arms, her small voice trembling. "I want to stay with Mama." The leader stiffened. A child choosing love over the tribe. It was a challenge no leader wanted to face. One of the older tribe members stepped forward. His voice was calm but firm. "Leader, the child speaks from truth. A child should be with her mother. Even the wild animals know this." Others murmured in agreement. The leader's face darkened. He looked at Mark, then at Lily, then at the alien woman holding her child like the world would shatter if she let go. You all choose weakness. He spat bitterly. Mark met his eyes. No, we choose humanity. The tribe fell silent. Finally, with a sharp flick of his hand, the leader turned away. Take them. Leave our land. If they return, we will not show mercy. Mark nodded. We won't return. The alien woman bowed her head, shaking with relief. She lifted Ariha in her arms, holding her close as if she were a piece of her soul returned. Lily took Ariha's small hand. Come with us, she said gently. The alien woman whispered, Thank you. Thank you both. They walked out of the valley under the rising moon. No one stopped them. No one chased them. The tribe watched silently as the human father, his daughter, the broken alien mother, and her small child left together. When they finally reached the forest edge, the alien woman collapsed to her knees again, this time not from fear or pain, but from overwhelming relief. Ariha curled into her mother's arms. Mama, are we going home? The woman looked at Mark and Lily. For the first time in her life, she smiled with peace in her eyes. Yes, she whispered. We are going home. Mark helped her stand. Lily held Ariha's hand tight. The four of them walked back toward the warm little house at the edge of the human town. A different family. A stronger family. A family built from kindness, courage, and love that crossed worlds. When they reached the door, the alien woman touched the frame gently. Your home saved me, she said softly. Mark smiled. No, you saved yourself. We only stood beside you. Ariha hugged Lily. The alien woman looked at Mark with deep gratitude. You gave me more than food, she whispered. You gave me my life back. Mark nodded. Welcome home. And for the first time since being cast out, for the first time since losing her child, she felt whole again.